How about this stuff that's been going on with Coach Bill Demott? I know I told you a little bit about it. Those of you that might have missed it, I mean, we talked about this last week. And with Coach Bill Demott, I mean, the guy had been a WWE developmental trainer for many years, but over the years, you kept hearing about these messed up stories about him basically berating the talent, belittling them, verbally abusing them, uh, doing these very extreme, shady antics. I mean, you just kept hearing about this stuff over and over again throughout the years. And it just got to a point within the past 2 weeks. It culminated last week, but you had wrestlers just left and right. It started with one person. Well, I mean, it's always been there, but with social media being so strong as it is today and people being able to have a significant impact if they have the right amount of followers and all that, I mean, you can do some serious damage now if you're trying to mess with somebody's reputation or whatever. And that was definitely the case with Bill Demott. I mean, we had people just coming out of the woodworks. Bill Demott stepped down from his position as the WWE developmental trainer last week. We were one of the first shows to comment on it as soon as it broke out. I basically put the tweet out there. I said, the way I was raised coming up, if allegations were made against you or if you were facing great scrutiny and everything that was being said negatively about you is false, you stand your ground and you fight the good fight. And I told him, I said, the fact that you stepped down from your position, no matter how you cut it, to some, it makes you look guilty. And as you would imagine, there's reports about the NXT roster. They're ecstatic. One had described the situation to a friend as Bill Demott was kind of like Bin Laden. And they said, we got Bin Laden. That's how they described the exit of Bill Demott. They said, we got Bin Laden. Okay, so what do you make about this? I mean, we got Chris Jericho. He tried to defend Bill Demott, say, hey, I got my training at Stu Hart's dungeon, and if people are complaining about Bill Demott, I mean, that's nothing compared to what was happening with me at the Stu Hart dungeon. He tried to stand up for him. Of course, that met a little bit of backlash because people are like, how can you defend this guy? There are so many people that are jumping out there. Jim Ross even tried to jump out there a little bit and say, hey, not everybody will agree with his style, his practices, but he means well. And, it should be noted that by the time all these allegations came about, we're now getting word that for a couple of years now, WWE, they did manage to clean up their image and they did manage to kind of lay the gauntlet down on Demott and say, look, clean your act up. Stop doing this shit. It's bad for us. It's bad for you. It's bad for everybody. But now he's out of a job. Your thoughts on Bill Demott exiting? Because I know one of the first times you came across him, and we were talking about this the other day, was that last season of Tough Enough and how he was picking on Ryan Howe. And you said to me, I'll never forget, you said to me, what we saw of him on TV, that was the introduction right there. That was insight to how he really is behind the scenes.
Yeah, it was probably toned down for TV. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, that was probably exactly the personality that you were getting. And then some, when you went into the trainings. Now, as far as what you just said about JR and a few of the others, honestly, at this point, they're probably doing damage control. It's, everybody but everybody knows in some type of training situation, whether it be boot camp or, they try to toughen you up, but, there's a line. And grant you, some people, especially in those training camps, boot camps, all that stuff, there's just lines you don't cross. And they're crossed every day in those type of situations. But some of the things that were said were just a bit too much over the top, I think. Um, but it looks like it's been going on for a long time, and grant you, to a couple of points that JR made, I do agree. I do agree with him. But considering WWE's image now, they're not going to stand for that.
No, they can't. And I said it right here on the show last week. I said given WWE's new family friendly, PG, I mean, they've really been cranking it up, I would say, in the past 5 years. That's a black eye for them. They need as much distance from that as possible. And, unfortunately, this whole Bill DeMott stuff, I don't think it's going to be going away anytime soon. He may have stepped down from his position, and we're getting word that he's not having anything to do with the WWE in any type of way. This is not a situation where he has just decided to step down and he's taken a smaller role in the company. He is completely out of the company, but honestly, this probably is not going to die down for him, at least for a couple of more months. I got to be honest. I'm not really... to me, this just kind of seems like, well, everybody else is writing about something, so I want to write something too. It kind of comes off like that Bill Cosby thing that's going on. You got all the women left and right,
That could very well be possible.
Here's a better segue. So, I mean, this just gives you an idea. We got people from the woodworks. I mean, hell, I never met Bill DeMott before, but you know what? He called me a black son of a bitch. I'm going to write the story and let you guys know about it next week when I'm able to come up with some more bullshit.
Yeah, that would be exactly what that was.